Hi guys, it's Nika, and today I will be building another starter home for my save file. The save file still doesn't have a name, by the way, but we will get there. So I called this house a tiny yellow starter, which is basically what it is. It is a yellow starter home. It's a starter home for just one sim. Finally, I thought of making a starter home for just one sim. The other two in my save file that I've built so far, they were for, well, they were intended for a couple. This one is built with one sim. I moved one sim onto the lot to get, the money you get with just one sim. I don't know why I'm rambling so much already, I'm sorry. And this is also a tiny home by the game requirements, so you are gonna get the benefits of that, which I feel like when you're just starting out with one sim, who after buying this lot will have probably like 600 simoleons, I feel like those tiny home benefits will come in handy. And yeah, not much to say about the build. It is cute, it is yellow, it is in Willow Creek, and yeah, that's all I think. At first I wanted to build a greenhouse, however then, and I feel like it may be a bit of nostalgia, because I started my yellow not so berry generation on this lot with my Sim Sunset. I feel like nostalgia took over me and then I just had to build a yellow house, so that's what I did. And I feel like I may be getting better at spreading out the budget. Well, when you will see the backyard, you will disagree with me. But inside the house, I feel like I spread the money nicely between all the rooms. None of the rooms feels like it is too empty. Well, maybe the living room could have a bit more clutter and everything, but I feel like I'm getting better at it, okay? And I still have a long way to go, but we are getting there. We are getting there for sure. Maybe someday I should challenge myself to make a starter home without debug items and a live edit or live edit objects, because yeah, I save a lot of money on plants. I'm a plant freak, I have to place so many plants on the lot. And in these builds that are on a budget, I always go for the debug ones because they are completely free, they cost 0 simoleons, and so I save a lot of money on landscaping. So I think it would be quite interesting to see what I could do if I couldn't use the debug flowers and if I could only use the ones in the standard catalog. Because some of my favorite plants might be quite expensive. To be honest, I have no idea. I never really look at the prices of stuff in the catalog, and then when I'm building on a budget, I'm just like, oh, well, I ran out of money because I really wanted this here. Yeah, so that would be all about the build, I would say. I have one very exciting thing to share with you. Well, I'm not sure if it will be that exciting for you. I suppose it will be, because yeah, sometimes the sound quality wasn't the best sometimes, especially when I laugh and a lot of air goes on the microphone. Well, I feel like I kind of ruined the surprise. But I have a pop filter now. I finally bought a pop filter for my microphone. I still have to figure out how to attach it, because the way I solved it now, I'm not sure if I can do it. I'm not sure if it's like the greatest. I'm not sure, maybe it will fall down. So yeah, I will figure that out later, but I have a pop filter now and I can finally laugh in my videos without making you all go deaf. I've tested it already before I went to edit this video, and I was honestly shocked how much better the sound quality was with a pop filter. I couldn't imagine it. I knew it would be better, but this much better. And what? It's just a piece of cloth and it does this? Interesting, I love it. I mean, I feel like it's probably simple physics, but listen. I haven't had physics since I was 15. I haven't had physics since middle school. Physics was not my favorite subject. Well, maybe it was because of the teacher. Well, the teacher, listen. Okay, this is nothing to do with the video or anything, and like, you don't need to know this, but like, the teacher I had for physics, she was quite nice to me. I was kind of scared of her, because she could be quite mean, but she was nice to me. Because I studied and I always got good grades from her tests. Doesn't mean that I was good at physics. However, then my sibling came to that school when I was already in high school, and the teacher was their math teacher and also their physics teacher. And my sibling is not as much of a student as I was. I don't want to say they are worse at maths and physics than me, because that's not true. I just study and they don't. And let's just say this teacher wasn't as nice to them as she was to me, because yeah, my sibling, they didn't really learn it. And you know, after knowing what she was like to them for 4 years, I kind of realized, well, that teacher was a shitty person, because she was only nice to me because I had good grades. Because I was scared of her, I was scared of getting a bad grade from her. Yeah, I got good grades from physics, but do I know anything about physics? Do I remember anything from physics? No, I don't. What was your favorite subject at school? Let me know in the comments down below. I know it's not related to the build at all, but let me know what was your favorite subject. Or if you are still at school, what's your favorite subject now? For me, from the very beginning of elementary school, I always really enjoyed Czech, and I also really enjoyed history and any type of like, because it wasn't called history when I was in elementary school. It was, I'm not sure how I would translate it to English. I'm not sure if there's like an equivalent. We call it vlastivěda, which basically means something like learning about your nation. I guess, or learning about your country, and it had the most basic facts about your country. It basically, for a lot of us, it was the first time really learning about our country's history, about our country's geography, more in depth, and yeah, so that was where I fell in love with history. Although I feel like my parents influenced it as well, because we like to go sightseeing, we visit castles and, you know, historical places every summer. We like to go to such places. And then when I went to middle school and we had history, as in like really a subject called history, that was my most favorite class, I would say. But I also really in middle school enjoyed chemistry. I truly enjoyed it. And what else did I like? Oh, I liked the music class in 8th and 9th grade, because aside from singing in that class a lot, which actually wasn't so fun because I am extremely socially anxious and singing in front of anyone makes me stressed out, but aside from singing, we also learned about the history of music, and it was like 1 week we were learning about like classical music and I don't know, Mozart, Vivaldi, and you know, composers like that. And another week we were learning about the history of pop music, and that was so fun. I could never study music, but the history of it, that was pretty cool. Oh, and when I say pop music, I actually meant it's more like popular music, not just pop itself, but also about like rock and, you know, the development of music since like, well, in the last century basically. Not since, but the development in the entire last century. And yeah, a lot of that class was just watching music videos from like, I don't know, 70s, 60s. And that was so fun. And as someone who really likes old music, well, yeah, it is old music. I mean, my beloved 80s music is 40 years old now, so anyway, we have rambled, I have rambled a lot, and I couldn't even tell you about all my favorite subjects. I also really liked English, by the way, I think you can tell. Anyway, we are at the end, so I have to say my goodbyes and my thank yous. Thank you so much for watching. I really love and appreciate you. And I'm looking forward to seeing you next time. And yeah, don't forget to do, you know, the YouTube things. I'm still trying to figure out my new outro. Can you tell it's not working? Anyway, I love you guys. Bye everyone!